to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yance. This is episode 24, and this is the wrestling show, where we're just going to talk about wrestling. And we're going to talk about the G1 Climax, we're going to talk about Roman Reigns, we're going to talk about AEW and Raw, which sucks, and we'll talk a little bit about other goings-on. So, stay tuned. Okay, let's talk about the G1 Climax 30. Well, it's in the books. There will be spoilers here. I don't know how else to talk about this other than with spoilers, so here we go. Ibushi has won. Kota Ibushi has won the G1 Climax 2 years straight. Congratulations to him. He is an amazing worker, and nobody deserves it more than him. So, at that point now, it looks like we are looking at Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito at the Tokyo Dome, which is going to be once again 2 nights again, so it's going to be the 4th and the 5th of January. I'm excited, because it should be fun. This is for professional wrestling fans. This is the program, this is the show, this is our WrestleMania, because we get matches that actually are good. So, G1 Climax in the books. It looked like Jay White was about to win. He was facing Ishii. All he had to do was defeat Ishii to win A block, and he did not do it. He lost. Ishii defeated him. It was a great match. I really loved the selling of it. And afterwards, you just felt the pain Jay White was in, as he was just, like you could just feel his leg, how heavy it was, how hurt he was that he couldn't win, and he was just like almost exhausted as he was right there on the cusp, which I gotta believe is gonna come back into next year, because last year he almost won the G1, and this time he lost again. So I feel like this is a storyline that's building, and he mentioned Evil in a way, and I'm thinking that him and Evil are going to have some kind of a feud for the ownership of the Bullet Club. I don't know. I don't think it's time to turn him face yet, so I don't know if they should do that. I kind of think they should keep that separate, because I really want to see Jay White have a long reign as a heel, because he's perfect for it, and then he can turn face. But let him be heel. I thought he was wonderful in this tournament. Will Ospreay turning heel and creating a faction. He defeated Okada after I don't know how to pronounce his name. Something Khan. I think his name is Khan. Let's see if I can find it. How to say it. Yeah, there he goes. The Great Okan. The Great Okan interfered, and Will Ospreay hit the Oz Cutter and pinned Okada. And you didn't know if he was with him, and then he turned on Okada. So Will Ospreay is no longer with Chaos. He has formed his own crew, and it should be interesting, to say the least, to see what he does. Kota Ibushi. Let's go back. On B block, Sonata defeated Evil after a bunch of interference, which I'm not excited about. But Sonata defeated Evil, and it came down to Kota Ibushi versus Sonata. And Sonata had him beaten, but he went up for the moonsault and he missed it. And then Kota Ibushi hit the Kamigoya. He hit 2 Kamigoyas. He kicked out of one, and then the second one he beat him. He could barely stand Kota Ibushi, but yes, it looks like Kota Ibushi is he was challenged by Jay White after it for the briefcase. So I don't know. Maybe Jay White beats him, and it ends up being Naito and Jay White. But I think that kind of would hurt him in a way. So I don't think they're going to do that. The thing that kind of makes me scared is we've got Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito once again. And these two men, the last time they fought, and just for the IC title, almost killed each other. So I'm fearful that they're going to destroy each other in the ring, because now they're going to be at Wrestle Kingdom and they're going to have more pressure to perform. And oh gosh, I really hope they don't hurt each other, because those guys are going to go full out, and I don't want to see either one of them break their neck, which it always looks like in their matches that they're going to do that. Looks like Okada versus Will Ospreay. I think that'll be another match at the Dome. I don't know where Jay White fits into it. I'm thinking Evil and Tanahashi. And maybe Sonata and Jay White. I don't know. I don't know where Jay White fits into this, but he's going to fit in somewhere. Maybe we'll get a surprise. Maybe Kenny Omega shows back up. I don't know. But it should be exciting. It should be a good night of wrestling. Overall, I've really enjoyed this G1. I watched everything. Another match, Dark Horse match, doesn't really matter so much points-wise, but if you want to see a really good match, watch Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. That's a really good match. Go watch that. Watch Kota Ibushi versus Sonata. Watch Sonata versus Evil if you want. Watch Jay White versus Ishii. That, for me, was probably my favorite. I really enjoyed that match. There was also some matches. Let me see. Do I have my notes here? Yeah. Oh, I do have some notes here. You could watch Okada when he beat Jeff Cobb. I thought that was a great match. Will Ospreay versus Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki had such a great run in this tournament. Ishimori did great. Jay White versus Ishimori. You can watch that. Pretty much all these matches were good. Ishii versus Ishimori was really good. Okada versus Minoru Suzuki. That was a great match. Skipping around here a little bit. Ibushi versus Will Ospreay. Really good. Will Ospreay defeating Jay White. I mean, you really can't go wrong. I mean, all the matches in A Block were pretty much just astounding. Great. What do you want out of professional wrestling? So watch the A Block matches. Watch maybe some of the B Block matches. But yeah, Kota Ibushi 2 times in a row. Wait a minute. Did I say? And Naito. Naito did not defeat Kenta, who has the U.S. title championship briefcase, and that was an interesting. I liked that match as well. I liked the way they worked it. So those are some matches. Really good G1. I'm nervous about the main event, but I'm sure it'll be good. And I gotta believe that this is gonna be Kota Ibushi's moment. 2 times at the Dome, he has to win, and I think he's going to win. So that's the G1, and we'll come back with, I'll talk a little bit about the SmackDown premiere. Okay, let's talk about SmackDown. This was, October 16th. This is the season premiere of SmackDown. Really isn't, but let them say whatever they want. And Daniel Bryan returned to the Thunder. That returns, and this is the first time he's been in the new Thunderdome. After the first outbreak, he kind of just took off. So Daniel Bryan is back. Well, let's start at the very beginning. I absolutely hate the way they opened this show. having having the roster standing on on the uh, on the ramp while Stephanie and Triple H talk about them made them all look like they were like Triple H and Stephanie were the principal and the roster was students, and it was just, I don't like that. That led into an impromptu brawl. We had Lars Sullivan defeating Jeff Hardy. I'm going to give him a break. I know everybody hates this guy because of what he said on the forum and everything. I think, they fined him $100,000. I mean, according to the Wrestling Observer, he apologized to everyone. He took classes. I don't know how long should we punish the guy? Forever? So I kind of feel bad for him. I think he's doing a good job. Let's see where it goes. The other thing that happened was Daniel Bryan returning, and he was interrupted by he was interrupted by Seth Rollins. So maybe Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan are going to have a feud. It was nice to see Daniel Bryan there. He's such a great promo. He's such a great performer. And to have him back, it adds depth to the roster. Because now he can mix and match. They're not going to push him to the top of the card for some stupid reason. But, hey, he's here, and his matches are always great. So, that's what's happened. Reigns and Braun Strowman faced off. They had a nice little match, nice little power match. And it ended with Roman Reigns choking out, guillotine choking out Braun Strowman. And then Jay Uso, J-E-Y, not J-A-Y, like the good Jay White. So Jay Uso comes down, and Roman Reigns continues, the thing like, I'm doing this for you, man. You got to be a part of my thing, because if you don't do this, I'm gonna have to do something I don't want to do. And he started mauling Braun Strowman with the steel chair and saying, look, do you want this to be you, huh? You want this to be you? And Jay Uso, comes out, and then he hits Roman Reigns. And then he starts hitting Braun Strowman with the chair, saying, I'm going to do this. And Roman Reigns ends it with, the Superman punch and saying, now I'm going to have to turn my back on you. And I don't want to. And he turned his back on him. He was like really hurt. I just love the Roman Reigns character. The unfortunate thing is he's surrounded by a clown show. Now maybe that'll change because now they have Daniel Bryan there. And he'll add a little bit more depth to the roster. And it won't seem so much like it's, Clown City as it feels like with the Otis thing and him getting sued and stupid crap like that no one cares about in professional wrestling that watches it. Nobody wants that stuff, but they continually do that. But I love the Roman Reigns character. I love what he's doing. I'm interested to see what they do at the Hell in a Cell, which apparently Hell in a Cell is now an I Quit match. I missed last week because I had the interview with Dave. But yes, they've made now a Hell in a Cell I Quit match, and I feel like it defeats the purpose of a Hell in a Cell. Now you're putting stipulations in the Hell in a Cell. It kind of muddies the water, so to speak. So, unfortunately, that's frustrating to me because it's just like, okay, what's next? A Hell in a Cell ladder match? I don't want to see that. We don't need that many. The Hell in a Cell should be enough. We don't need a gimmick on top of a gimmick. But that seems to be where they're going. So I thought SmackDown was good. I enjoyed it. Other things happened, but I didn't think they were that important, so I'm not going to talk about them. Let's talk about Raw. It sucks. I don't care. I'm hoping it looks like Randy Orton is going to defeat Drew McIntyre and become the the Universal Champion at Hell in a Cell. They did a thing where the Street Profits and New Day traded belts, which is just stupid, but that's what they did. They finished off the draft. The Fiend has been drafted to Raw, and some other things happen. Oh yeah, I think wasn't Seth Rollins drafted to? Yeah, he was drafted to SmackDown. Who cares about the draft? It really doesn't matter. They're going to change it whatever they want, whenever they want. So it really doesn't matter to really focus that much on it. So the Fiend came out. He attacked Andrade. Alexa Bliss and the Fiend are like one. It should be okay. It should be good. I don't know. I hope it'll be good. Then they have the Hurt Business and Randy Orton. They ended with Lana winning a battle royal to face Asuka, which just sounds awful to me. And apparently Eva Marie is back, so she'll probably be back tomorrow night. That just sounds awful to me. She's never shown an aptitude to being a great worker, so we'll have to watch and see what that turns out to be. And then they ended the show with Drew and Randy brawling. They'd been brawling all night, but they have no scars or none of them are bleeding to show that they were fighting. It just looks like a clown show to me. I really hate Raw. I'm going to be honest with you. Paul Heyman is missed very much. He did an interview saying he would not talk about his run as the executive producer of Raw. Of course, he's just trying to save face, but you know what? To each its own. Let him do his thing. That's what it is. So I thought Raw was awful. So that's WWE, and let's move on. Oh, one thing. I'll end the WWE segment with this. John Cena got married. So he's officially married again. I hope this one lasts a long time, and I wish him good fortune and health. And we will be back with AEW. Okay. Today was not today. Last Wednesday was Dynamite, AEW's 1-year anniversary. I thought they had a really good show. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good. They opened up with the AEW World Tag Team titles match. FTR faced the Best Friends, and FTR won with, they cheated. They did some old school finish, and there you go. Kip Sabian and the Best Man, Miro, faced Sean Malute and Lee Johnson. Miro applied the game over finisher, which is basically the camel clutch. MJF had his announcement. He brought out Chris Jericho, and they were kind of like, we don't want you. We really, get to the point. And so next week, they're going to have a steak dinner, and MJF, this obviously is going to lead to one of the two turning face. So either Chris Jericho is going to face MJF as the face, or MJF is going to turn face, which I think would be a mistake. Or they might just keep them both heels and try and have one be the more unlikable heel at this time. So yes, that's what we're looking forward to. Next week is a steak dinner, a one-on-one steak dinner between Chris Jericho and MJF. It's a little too clownish for me, but it's okay. Then we had the AEW TNT title match. I thought this was great. Cody versus Orange Cassidy. It was a time limit draw, so they kept Orange Cassidy strong, and he looked like he was about to beat Cody, but the timer ran out. Good job. I think they did a good job of protecting Orange Cassidy. He's a guy. I enjoy him. I know people don't like him. He has his critics. Matt Hardy returned. Said he's fine. He wants to go after Sammy Guevara. Let's pray for both of them. Hikaru Shida versus Big Swole for the AEW world title, women's world title. Not really that good. I like Shida, but Big Swole is not really ready for that. And then we had an AEW World Title match with Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley. This was a good match. I enjoyed this. Moxley defeated Archer with the paradigm shift off the apron. Actually, no, he didn't. Let me see. How did he defeat him? Yeah, no, he did do the paradigm shift, but he used another paradigm shift. Archer kicked out. Archer DDT'd him, and then used the blackout on Mox. But Moxley rolled up Archer for the victory, so he got a squeaked by. It doesn't really kill Archer. And then Eddie Kingston came out and, was raising his hand, saying, we really like you, and then he attacked him and fought him. Omega was not on the show tonight. I felt he was missed. And they had this Dr. Britt Baker skit with Tony Schiavone where they were at a massage parlor. I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't like that. Too much of that just makes it look like... it looks too much like WCW 2000 when they would go to Ric Flair's house and brawl and stuff. I don't like that. Keep it in the ring. Keep it in there. I like Britt Baker, but have her things be backstage, not in a massage parlor, not in a dentist office. Get rid of all that fake crap. Let her be the heel she needs to be. She can do it. She's good. It's not that I don't like Britt Baker. I just don't like the way she's being framed. But they're finding their way. So I'm enjoying AEW stuff. This week starts off the world title tournament to determine the number one contender. Hopefully that will be at the February show. I forget what the name of that show is. So that should be exciting. I'm excited about that because I think we're going to get Omega versus Page, and I think Omega's going to be a heel, and Omega's going to be... we're going to get the Kenny Omega we all want to see. The Kenny Omega that, really, pulls out all the stops. I think this is the Kenny Omega year. I think Kenny Omega is going to be the guy. And I know some people aren't going to like that, but it's... I can't wait. I've been waiting for this Kenny Omega to return, and yeah. So good stuff. I'm enjoying what they're doing. So yeah, the world title tournament begins on Wednesday, and that should be exciting. And we've got that will lead to the pay-per-view. And I can't find the paper. Okay, here it is. Full Gear. There we go. I knew it was there. So, Full Gear. And the first match is Penta El Zero M versus Rey Fenix. That should be good. Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. I think Omega will pull it out. Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. Interesting to see who gets the rub there. Colt Cabana versus Hangman Page. Page is winning that. So I think we might get Page and Wardlow. Page will beat Wardlow. Omega will beat Janela. Then I think it'll be Omega versus Phoenix. Omega will win, and then we got Omega versus Page at Full Gear. And that will determine the number one contender, hopefully for the next pay-per-view after that. So I'm digging what AEW's doing. I have my criticisms, but it's not enough to hate. It's not enough to hate. I think they're really being smart. The way they're booking Orange Cassidy, I like. MJF and Jericho, that should be an interesting thing. Omega's run. The only thing I don't get is the Bucks. They had they had a little brawl or whatever, and it looks like the Bucks are heels now, and I don't get that. So are the Bucks going to be facing FTR as heels? So we're going to have heels versus heels? I don't think that's a win-win situation. But I don't know. It looks like that's where we're headed towards. So that's AEW. It looks like it's going to be Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley. And so we got Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. We got Omega versus Page, probably. I guess FTR versus the Young Bucks, but I think it's too soon and it's just not been built properly. And, well, we don't know the rest of it. And I think probably MJF versus Jericho. And was it Orange Cassidy versus Cody? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to work. So that's what we got next. So I'm enjoying wrestling this week. I enjoyed G1. I'm enjoying AEW. SmackDown was pretty good. Raw is awful. Only thing I don't really like. And I hear ROH is doing a really good job with their Pure Title tournament, which I gotta watch some of that. So that's what we got, and that's what's happening. I should be doing, hopefully, an ECW podcast on at the end of the week on 2000 ECW, an underrated time, also a time where a lot of people thought they were closing their doors. And if you have time, listen to my interview with the one and the only Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer. Once again, I want to thank him for doing that interview. I really appreciate that. And that's about it for this week on the wrestling episode. I'm hoping to do another one on either Thursday or Wednesday. I haven't really decided yet. But yeah, that's what's going on, and that's what's happened in the wrestling world this week. And I will see you next time on the DMF.